Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are looking at an event that literally changed the course of human history. It's a story that forces us to ask some deeply difficult questions about the legacy of global empires. Over the course of this series, we're asking, was the era of empire a source of pride, a cause of shame, or something far too complicated for either answer? Well, between 1791 and 1804, enslaved people on a French Caribbean island rose up. They defeated the greatest military empires of their time, and they created the world's first Black republic. This is a story of profound suffering, absolutely. But above all, it is a story of incredible human agency, resistance, and undeniable triumph. To really understand the scale of this, we have to look at the wealth involved. In 1791, the French colony of Saint-Domingue, which is modern-day Haiti, was the single most profitable colony in the entire Americas. Think about this. It produced 40% of Europe's sugar and half of its coffee. But this staggering fortune for France wasn't built on innovation or fair trade. It was built entirely on the forced, brutal labor of approximately 500,000 enslaved people. This immense wealth fueled global empires, but it came at an unfathomable human cost. The everyday reality of this system was profoundly brutal. In fact, the conditions were among the absolute worst anywhere in the enslaved world. Yet, out of that intense darkness sparked a 12-year revolution. The people of Saint-Domingue didn't just fight for slightly better conditions. They literally fought against the world's most powerful militaries, and they won. They emerged victorious, founding the nation of Haiti in 1804. This made it the Western Hemisphere's very first country built entirely on a declaration of universal human freedom. Now, to understand how this revolution happened, we have to look at the conditions that made it inevitable. The death rate from overwork, disease, and outright brutality was so extreme that the enslaved population could only be maintained by continuous, forced importation of people from Africa. Alongside this horrific reality, free people of color on the island were still denied basic political rights. So when the French Revolution of 1789 proudly declared liberty, equality, and fraternity, it raised an uncontainable question. If all men are created equal in France, why are human beings being worked to death in France's wealthiest colony? The tipping point finally came on the night of August 22nd, 1791. And I want to be clear here, this was not some spontaneous, chaotic riot. It was a highly organized, strategic uprising, coordinated across the northern plantations. The enslaved population firmly reclaimed their agency. And out of this brilliant organization emerged a leader of unparalleled strategic mind, Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint Louverture is a truly remarkable historical figure. Born into slavery around 1743, he was entirely self-educated and had the rare advantage of being able to read. He rigorously studied military strategy and history on his own. By combining absolute military genius with extraordinary political intelligence, he masterfully took formerly enslaved people and organized them into a disciplined army. He held together deeply complex coalitions and proved himself to be the strategic equal to the top military minds of Europe, consistently outmaneuvering every general sent to defeat him. The scale of his military success is just staggering, and it's a piece of history that's often completely forgotten. Between 1793 and 1798, Britain sent over 20,000 soldiers to crush the revolution and restore slavery. This was actually their largest military commitment outside Europe since the American Revolution. The result? A catastrophic and humiliating defeat. Britain lost approximately 15,000 men, primarily to yellow fever, fierce combat, and Toussaint's brilliant tactical maneuvers. And it didn't stop with Britain. Next, Napoleon Bonaparte attempted to restore slavery. He sent a massive 40,000-troop army under his brother-in-law, General Leclerc. Unable to defeat Toussaint in open, fair battle, Leclerc resorted to treachery. He invited Toussaint to a diplomatic conference under a guarantee of safety, only to illegally arrest him and ship him off to a freezing prison in France. But the revolution didn't need just one man anymore. Disease and the unyielding resistance of the self-emancipated forces utterly defeated Napoleon's army as well, forever securing Haiti's freedom. So what does this all mean globally? The impact echoed across the world. First, it decisively shattered the racist myth of passivity and inferiority that European empires relied on to justify slavery. Second, it absolutely terrified slaveholders everywhere, from the American South all the way to Brazil. It proved undeniably that the brutal system of slavery could be militarily overthrown by the very people it oppressed. But the aftermath reveals a grave, enduring injustice. France actively punished Haiti for daring to be free. In 1825, 21 years after independence, France threatened military action and extorted a massive debt of 150 million francs from the new nation. This was specifically designed to compensate French colonists for their so-called lost property, which disgustingly included the human beings who had just freed themselves. Haiti was forced to borrow money and pay this crippling debt for 143 years. They didn't make the final payment until 1947. Let's move into our next section, where we'll look at two profound historical facts that really highlight the sobering legacy of this revolution on our modern world. The first fact brings us back to Toussaint Louverture. Isolated, denied medical care, and deliberately starved in a freezing French mountain prison, he died in April 1803. But his fiercely defiant final words proved entirely true. He reportedly said, "In overthrowing me, you have done no more than cut down the trunk of the tree of black liberty. It will spring back from the roots." And he was absolutely right. The roots of liberty were too deep. The revolution continued, and Haiti officially declared independence just 8 months after his tragic death. Our second fact connects this history directly to the present day. That debt Haiti was forced to pay, it's estimated to be around $21 billion in today's money. This extortion economically crippled the new nation from day one. So the extreme poverty we see in Haiti today isn't some accident. It is directly linked to the world punishing Haiti for demanding its freedom. In 2010, French President Nicolas Sarkozy visited Haiti and finally admitted the debt was unjust. Yet, remarkably, France offered no apology, and not a single cent of financial restitution has ever been made. All right, it is time for our knowledge check. Here is exactly how this works. I'm going to read the question and all the options. Then, I will pause in complete silence for exactly 4 seconds to give you time to think. Afterward, I'll reveal the one-sentence answer. Let's jump in. Question 1. What made Saint-Domingue such a significant colony before the Revolution? Option A, it was the largest island in the Caribbean. Option B, it was the most profitable colony in the Americas, producing 40% of Europe's sugar. Option C, it was where the slave trade originated. Option D, it was the oldest European colony in the Caribbean. The correct answer is B. Saint-Domingue was the most profitable colony in the Americas, entirely built on the brutalized labor of 500,000 enslaved people. Question 2. Who was Toussaint Louverture and what made him such a remarkable leader? Option A, a French general who changed sides. Option B, a self-educated enslaved man and military genius. Option C, the first president of independent Haiti. Option D, a Haitian-born plantation owner. The correct answer is B. Born enslaved, he utilized his literacy, military genius, and political intelligence to become a strategic equal to European generals. Question 3. How did the British military campaign in Saint-Domingue from 1793 to 1798 end? Option A. Britain successfully occupied the colony and restored order. Option B. Britain withdrew after a humiliating defeat, losing approximately 15,000 soldiers. Option C. Britain and France agreed to divide the colony. Option D. The British troops mutinied. The correct answer is B. Britain suffered a catastrophic and humiliating defeat, losing roughly 15,000 soldiers to disease and masterful Haitian military maneuvers. Question 4. How did France punish Haiti for winning its independence? Option A. France imposed a trade blockade until the 1850s. Option B. France demanded 150 million francs in compensation for lost property. Option C. France refused to recognize Haiti's independence until 1900. Option D. France imposed a ban on Haitian emigration. The correct answer is B. France extorted 150 million francs under the threat of military action, a crippling financial punishment that lasted 143 years. Question 5. Why does the Haitian Revolution matter beyond Haiti itself? Option A, it created a template for independence movements everywhere. Option B, it proved enslaved people could defeat European armies, terrified slaveholders, but resulted in Haiti being punished for over a century. Option C, it was the first time France had lost a major military campaign. Option D, it led directly to the abolition of slavery in the United States. The correct answer is B. It shattered the myth of racial inferiority by defeating empires. Yet the world punished this indisputable proof of equality with over a century of crippling debt. This history forces us to ask some deeply uncomfortable questions about empire, wealth, and justice. Ultimately, we have to ask, was the true crime the rebellion, or the global empire's complete refusal to accept a free Black nation? Next time on The Explainer, we are going to look at Britain's slavery compensation scandal. Because when slavery finally ended, someone received the equivalent of £17 billion in today's money, and it was not the enslaved people. Thank you so much for learning with us, and we will see you next time.